Any Small Goodness, a novel of the barrio by Tony Johnston. It has been 3 years since Arturo Rodriguez and his family moved from Mexico to Los Angeles, California, and they are slowly adjusting to life in the United States. Arturo's older brother, Luis, has formed a band that practices in the garage. No one notices the cat, Huitla, napping in the garage until she flies out, scared by the band's first blast of song. Arturo forgets about Huitla's wild escape until that night. Mommy's stirring the various pots that will become dinner. Where's Huitla? She asks. Because the cat has always twined around her legs when food's available, nearly tripping her sometimes. Mommy doesn't mind. She always stops cooking, stoops her dove-shaped body down, giving Huitla a little pat. Ay, Huitla, old black lump, she croons gently. One day you will simply break Mommy's old neck. Then what will those greedy ones do for a cook? She chuckles a lot. She finds herself so humorous. That Huitla, Mommy repeats. Donde está? Luis gouges a taste of refried beans from a saucepan. No sé, he grunts. She took off, I say, in explanation of everything. Things are pretty quiet at dinner, except for cat questions. We're all wondering where Huitla's gone. Rosa wanders from room to room. Huitla, she calls over and over. Ven, kitty, come! But she doesn't. Not tonight. Not any night. From the start, we search everywhere. All of Huitla's favorite spots, like beside the scarecrow in the corn plot, where she loves to plop her lazy self down in the fullest sun. The neighbors help. They love our little cat for her sweetness and for her funky stuck-out tongue. With crayons, Rosa makes a sign, just the face of a little black cat poking out the tip of its tongue. My kitty is lost, she writes, with our help, and gives the number of our telephone. It's 2 weeks since we've seen her. Now a little silence moves through the house, as if filling Huitla's space. No one ever says so, but maybe we guess she's dead, or at least that she won't return. Abuelita has her words of comfort to say. We will find her. Rosa's the one who's most desolate. She sometimes crawls into my lap and says nothing, just sucks her thumb. It's a typical night at home. Rosa's blabbing into a big plastic bottle, squeaking like Alvin the Chipmunk. Luis is blazing out Chango on the radio. Turn it down, I'm trying to study, I shout. Well, try harder. Above the blare, the phone rings. Zaffo, Luis yells, which means Dib's not answering. Zaffo, Rosa echoes. Though she's sitting close, Abuelita also refuses to answer. Or speak face to face, or don't speak at all, is her thought on the subject of telephones. Given the chance, she'd throw it off a cliff. I dash up and take the call. At first, there's only breathing on the line. Hello? At last, a voice comes. Hello, this is Leo Love speaking. This is Leo Love breathing, I think. Leo Love? It's got to be one of those crank romantic calls you hear about sometimes. I don't want to become involved in anything weird, so I nearly hang up. I've got... Who? The voice makes frustrated owl calls, then just blurts, I've got your cat. Huitlacoche! I shout into the receiver. Yes, Hoodlecooch, the man agrees. Over a series of explosions of joy in the room, I take down the guy's datos. Name, address, telephone. I say, we're on our way. And we are, all of us piling into Papi's car, Valentin, laughing, all ecstatic, and crying. Valentin goes jittering down the streets, slowing, speeding up, sometimes stopping in full so that we can check directions. We're all so anxious. When we reach the given address, it seems like we've been driving forever. Actually, it's not many blocks. Mr. Leo Love doesn't need to hear his doorbell. We arrive in such an excitement, he can't miss us. He opens the door. He's an old guy, wire-bearded and small. No Mr. Universe, but more with the build of a sparrow. Pants creased sharp enough to slice chorizo. Dressed in tweed, so he looks like he's wrapped in tree bark. He talks stiff as bark, too, like every word makes a difference in his life. Then suddenly, he nearly blasts his bark off with a sneeze. A chorus of saluds follow. Quickly, Abuelita holds out a lime from her lumpy purse. She never travels without limes. Leo Love looks surprised. You take this, she orders him. Good for all things. He lamely takes the lime. I'm allergic to cats, he says, embarrassed, holding out Huitla. Limones? Good also for that, says Abuelita. By now, Rosa's popcorning up and down so much that for safety, Leo Love hands the cat to Mommy. Squashed in face, tip of pink tongue flagging out, "It's our cat, all right. Hey, fish breath," Luis greets her. Words of love for him. What's the next step? Everyone's in confusion. Everyone except Abuelita. She bustles up and embraces the stranger, plants kisses on his tortilla-white cheeks. "Estimado Señor Mr. Leo Love," she says with fervor, "you are a most very good hero." Señor Mr. Leo Love seems amazed by that, and touched. In confusion, he invites us into his immaculate house. Everyone sits in a perched position. The furnishings are so clean. Mommy's eyes survey the room. They say that she loves his housekeeping. Leo Love offers coffee. We all accept. In her excitement, even Rosa. This is a happy time. I guess that's why Mommy allows it. Anyway, when Rosa's done, it's not coffee, just some pale gunk, mainly sugar, so thick it could hold bricks together. While Rosa glugs this down, she never lets go of Huitla. Now that she's semi-settled down, Mommy allows Rosa to hold the cat. On her chair, Abuelita leans forward, like a small, eager bird. We await the prize words that are surely coming. "Now, Señor Mr. Leo Love," she says with respect and careful words, like taking careful steps on stairs. "How arrived our sweet little gatita to your door?" Somehow, Leo Love has followed this thick braid of conversation. He sips his coffee and says, "Actually, she did not arrive at the door. I discovered her near the avocado tree." "I do not wish to seem rude," says Papi, who has never seemed rude in his whole life. "But 2 weeks?" Leo Love nods his head. Yes, it is certainly a long time not to communicate. However, there was nothing to identify her. Huitla has tags from the vet. He even had to make them 2 times because of problems with spelling. "She had no tags," he continues, "and I have allergies. But what could I do? I decided that at my age I had earned the right to throw caution away. I decided to keep the little creature. I hadn't much else to offer, so I fed her trout." A shadow skims Mommy's face. It seemed to mean, I cannot compete with trout. Leo Love goes on. "However, all the trout in the world could not assuage my guilt. Someone must miss her terribly, a child most probably. Today I searched the rescue site again, and by good fortune found the cat's collar, broken. It was precisely then I dialed your number." At that, Abuelita perks up. She puts two and two together fast. "You believe in God?" She bores into him, all energized. Leo Love looks at her as if seeing a blink of new light about his situation. He says, "It's something always worth considering." For that moment, that satisfies